The second point that I want to bring up, treat your kids with respect and maturity. This to me is one of the biggest issues that I find, that there's always this trivialization. No doubt you know more than your kid. We all know this as parents, you know more than your kid. But you know, your kid also needs to learn some things of life by himself or herself. Treat them with an element of maturity and realize that in our Sharia, a child becomes an adult at the age of 13 or 14. Not 18, not 19. A child becomes fully baligh at the age of 13 or 14. Maximum, scholars say, is 15. As soon as puberty hits, that child is no longer a child. In our religion, there's no such thing as adolescence. There's no interim where you're a kid but you're not a kid. No such thing. That's the difference of our religion. You treat a 15-year-old like an adult. And you know, that's my philosophy. Any person who's 15 or above, I talk to them like an adult, I treat them like an adult, and sometimes they're a bit shocked because they're not used to that treatment. Because these 15, 16 years old are treated like kids, they act like kids. They act like kids because we treat them like kids. Treat them like an adult. And it's going to take a while because they're not used to it. But give them that intellectual respect. Sit down and have an intellectual conversation with them like you would with an adult. Tell them about your life. Tell them what's happening in the world. And automatically your son or daughter will mature. Stop treating them like kids because they are no longer children. And if that's the case when they're 14, well then by the time they're 9 or 10, you better start laying the foundations for that. This is, in my humble opinion, one of the biggest negatives of this culture we live in, is that they always want to make children more immature than they are. And our Sharia tells us to treat our children more mature. Make them basically think maturely and act maturely. So this is the second point. Treat your kids with maturity. Treat your kids as not equals, that's not going to happen, but treat them with the respect and the intellectual maturity that they deserve.